Kempire is brought to you by Mother's Day is right around the corner, and we are partnering with Rose Forever so that you can get yourself or your mother figure something beautiful, something that will last at least a year. So many of you have checked out Rose Forever in our collaborations in the past, and you said, I've had my roses for 2 years. Guys, it might be time for you to upgrade or change those roses. However, we always have a discount code for you. Kempire 20 MD, that's for Mother's Day, is now available for $20 off. It will only be available during this Mother's Day collaboration that we have. Be sure to check out the description for more details on how you can get roses, candles, even other beautiful flowers that will last you at least a year from our friends over at Rose Forever. Again, more information will be available in the description. You're listening to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Network. What's going on? Apologies, guys. Welcome back to the Kempire channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. Be sure to let me know if you can hear me, see me, and all that good stuff. Shout out to those of you watching on Twitch, Twitter, and here on TikTok. Keep tapping your screens. And for more information on butter and butter products and other things in my TikTok shop, check out my TikTok shop here on my profile, along with links to some of our sponsors in my profile as well. Shout out to our King's Guard. Shout out to our channel members. We appreciate you guys as well. We see quite a few of you in the live chat. And of course, shout out to our subscribers. It is a subscribers only live chat. And this is our weekly recap of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. This is episode 7? How would you guys rate this week's episode? How are you feeling? We got our girls trip at the end. We went to Nashville. All right. I got a little deja vu because you remember I had my live show in Nashville in July, and literally the next day I had another live show in Atlanta. So it's sort of like, oh, I can't wait to do that again. But yeah, shout out to those of you that came to both my Nashville show and those of you that came to our Atlanta show. Okay. Stay tuned. I'm trying to come back to y'all, but y'all don't even realize what it takes to bring a live show to your city. It's not easy. Okay. All right. Yes. Be sure to let me know how you guys would rate this week's episode and let me know where you are watching from. But before we get to the Real Housewives of Atlanta, we have some Real Housewives of Potomac news to get into. Yes. I don't know if we should play this or this. You will let me know. Mia Thornton, now formerly of the Real Housewives of Potomac, has announced that she will not be returning for another season of the show. So Mia this morning announced that she will not be returning, and this is actually timely because I have some exclusive tea to spill in regards to Real Housewives of Potomac from what I'm hearing. But again, keep in mind, contracts are finalized sometimes in the last hour, but we'll talk about that in a second. First, Mia took to her social media. She posted this photo where it shows that she's holding a newspaper article. I guess it's only going to be headlines in her head. That Mia Thornton moves to Atlanta. We already knew that. We already knew Mia moved because she posted a picture with her and her kids and said all the things in regards to her, new start, new penthouse in Atlanta. Fine. And for those that keep asking, is she going to join the next season of Real Housewives of Atlanta? Please no. We have way too many liars currently on Atlanta. We don't need to add another one. Okay. All right. So Mia posted this photo along with a bunch of other photos on her Instagram, but she captioned this particular one saying, "With every new season comes a new beginning, and I have some news to share. My family and I have made the decision to relocate to Atlanta, and with that, I will not be returning to the Real Housewives of Potomac next season. The past 4 seasons have been an unforgettable journey, one filled with growth, lessons, and so many incredible memories. I want to thank Truly Original, Bravo, NBC Universal, and Andy Cohen for believing in me and giving me the space to share my story. To my castmates, thank you for the laughs, the lessons, and the unforgettable moments. And to the amazing fans, your love and support has meant everything to me. I'll always carry that with me to Atlanta. This next chapter is already full of exciting opportunities, and I can't wait to take you all along for the ride. Please don't. Big things are coming. ... I don't just make headlines, I make history. Atlanta, brace yourself. The empire has expanded. Hashtag legacy in the making. Bianca in her comment section just put Nini's peace. Like, really? Damn, y'all not gonna be sad to see a Mia Thornton go? Look, I want to give Mia her credit. Can we give Mia some credit? Because there are a lot of newbies that come and you're just like, oh, they're terrible. Mia has had some lows. You remember Miami and what happened with Dr. Wendy Asefo. She's also had some funny, interesting moments as well. So I don't think she was a bad addition to Real Housewives of Potomac. But I also feel like towards the end, it just was like, yeah, Mia, the lies have created a whole new narrative. Now you're including your kids in this very cringeworthy storyline. It was time for her to go. And the way that she left the reunion, I don't think anyone is surprised. Then Carlos said that she was the future of Potomac. The future queen of Potomac? Maybe he meant Atlanta. Maybe she should go into... No, we don't need her over in Atlanta. No. But okay. Hold on. Tigga, are you a subscriber just to be a subscriber? Because you shady for no reason. Huh? Excuse me? I think because I told you guys I'm in my villain era that you think I'm going to respond to every single shady or nonsensical or stupid thing that you say in the comment section. Please understand, yeah, I will get you together when necessary, but every single comment that you guys say about what I'm doing over here, I'm just going to laugh at you. Keep engaging with the content. Keep watching. We appreciate it. We appreciate it. And that will be the only comment that I will respond to that might be shady in the live chat. You shady for no reason. You're watching for no reason. Keep watching. Keep watching. We appreciate it. Mary says Giselle won. Well, you saw what Andy said when Mark, what was his name, from Ugly Betty was on the other day. And he was like, well, she had a great last season because he said that, it was time for Giselle to be put on pause. And it's like, well, Giselle had a great reunion. So in Andy's mind, the rebranding of Giselle last season worked. I have to agree with Mark that it's time for Giselle to hang it up for at least a season or two. Because what else is she going to offer us or not offer us next season? What will be Giselle's storyline next season? Just asking. Exactly. Turtle 212 says, keep the cable on. In the famous words of Kenya. Speaking of Kenya, guys, if you missed it, we did recap Kenya's first video that she released on her new YouTube channel, which I'm sure I don't even know where it's at in regards to subscribers now, but it was gaining a lot of momentum. The video has over 300-something thousand views, where she told her side, her confessions in regards to what played out during the season. We talked about it. We're not going to go and talk about it extensively here because for those that have been wanting me to talk about it, that's where we talked about it. We talked about it in a separate video. Happy Easter. It is Easter Monday here still in the States and probably around the world. Rest in peace to Pope Francis. He passed away overnight. He was 88 years old. We just posted a video on short form content for those that want to know more about that. So rest in peace to Pope Francis. And he definitely changed the face of Catholicism. He definitely had a little bit more of a liberal view, and he was making changes in the world of Catholicism. So rest in peace to him. I know the entire Catholic community is mourning his passing today. All right, moving on from there. Yeah, I wanted to kind of get you up to date in regards to what's been going on in regards to the news. Because, we don't just talk about housewives here on the channel. We talk about everything in pop culture. Speaking of pop culture, guys, I will be talking about Got to Get Out. That a Hulu reality show with Cynthia Bailey is in it. Kim Zolciak is in it. And some regular people are in it, which I'm glad they did. Shout out to the producers of that. I'm glad they included some regular people because the regular people makes the game more interesting for us. I'm going to talk more about it in Club Kempire. So join our Apple Podcast subscription, Club Kempire. I'm going to talk about it there. I'm still in the middle of watching it, but I will be talking about it there for those that have been asking me to watch it and recap it. So stay tuned for that. All right. Moving on. Let's get into this episode because this feels like there's a lot to talk about, but at the same time, not a lot to talk about. Okay. All right. Where do I want to begin? Mike and Britt. I'm going to take these because they kept on kind of going back and forth between three different scenes in the first 15 minutes of Real Housewives of Atlanta's latest episode. Let me see what you guys are rating this week's episode because I want to see what everyone is saying. Don't forget to, if you're on our YouTube channel, be sure to rate the episode. Ooh, 53% with over 600 and something votes. You guys are rating this episode between a 4 and a 6. 30% of you are rating it between a 7 and a 10. Wow, I didn't expect that. Okay. All right. Tigga, I see that you just in here trolling, so I'm just gonna, you don't get banned easy in the Kempire community. It's one thing to have your opinion. It's another reason for you to just get blocked. Come on, stop. I just blocked him. Mods, it's done. The fact that I have to get involved at this particular point, I'm seeing what you attacking people in our community. I don't know. You subscribe to be a part so you could troll. Is that you, Britt? Britt, you never know some of these housewives come under. I'm okay, Britt. I mean, let me not put that on you. Let me not put that on you. It could be anybody at this particular point. Could be even Tween Twirl. Just saying. It's all right. Let me focus. Let me get back to this. Let me do my job and talk about this. So, yeah, 53% of you are voting. It's almost 700 votes. 53% of you are still voting that this episode was between a 4 and a 6, which is not bad. It's not great, though, especially, for a new season, new blood. Okay. All right. Moving on. So let me get into, I'm going to take it part by part as opposed to, jumping back and forth in regards to these three scenes at the top of the episode. So Mike and Britt's husband, they go shopping for a new car. Keep in mind, I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't get a car. Sometimes production wants us to feel the fabulosity because all of you keep saying, we want to feel the fabulosity, what we get from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and blah, 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 blah. Darian says, come here. Darian says, just come here to get blocked on a Taurus Monday. Yes, it's Taurus season. I almost forgot. Yes, it's Taurus season. All right. Let me focus. Let me get to this. But I saw that comment. I wanted to comment on that. All right. So Britt and Mike go shopping. And as I was saying before, I feel like production sometimes they want you to feel the opulence that might not exist in some of these. Not saying that it's everyone. And I'm not saying that about Britt and Mike. But I just feel like sometimes it's performative as opposed to someone's really buying something. We saw it on Salt Lake City too. We see it all the time. Someone, a $4 million necklace, and she doesn't end up buying it. Which, I mean, that is expensive. But you get what I'm saying. There's some folks not some. There's a lot. You start to see the people that are performative when they're put on pause. Hey, Jersey. Or all of a sudden they gotta do all kinds of things. We're not going to talk about Jersey. I'll talk about that. I need to write that down because I want to mention this for our Club Kempire recap where I talk about a bunch of other stuff. I need to write that down because Jersey, the money funny over there. But okay, I've digressed. If I remember, I'll mention it. So Britt and Mike go car shopping. All right. So she's in the car. She's like, yes, you promised me a car. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So she's in the car and she says that, she in her confessional, she's saying that she's still going through the trauma of what happened with Kenya. And she says, she has her days when she cries and that she can't get out of bed. I mean, do I believe Britt? I don't know if I believe the can't get out of bed part. I don't know if I believe that, but I do believe that she cries and that she's upset. And it's not because of it is because of what Kenya did, but I think it's more so the Bravo universe and Team Twirl and probably trolling her in the comment section. So for those that are saying, oh, she's, you don't believe exactly what she's telling us on the show, I had to think about that a little bit deeper. And I was like, I do believe that she's dragging it a little bit on the show, But at the same time, I do believe that she is hurt and she is being bullied online by, the Kenya fans and things like that. It's one thing, y'all. It's one thing to defend Kenya, but it's another thing to go and harass someone. Like, that's not okay either. Just saying. So homegirl's in the car. Mike's there as per usual. Doesn't look like he wants to be there, but all right. All right. And she puts her leg up in the air and he's like, put your leg down. You're doing too much. Doesn't she always? I thought everyone says that Mike hates her. It's, people say the same thing about Angela and Charles. I don't believe that between Angela and Charles. I think that's their banter. But between Mike and Britt, I don't know if I would say he hates her, but I don't feel like he likes her a lot. And there's a lot of signs. Because remember when she was bawling, she was boo-hooing, and then he went over to comfort her, and he waited for her to hug him. Mind you, you're going to her to comfort her, and he's waiting for her to put her arms around him, and then he barely puts his arms around her. I'm just like, what is going on here? But okay. Dee Dee says Mike looks tired. He always looks that way, though. But all right. All right. So Britt then updates Mike on some of the things that Angela said at the peace brunch. There are a select few people that believe that Angela was being shady, being messy. Based off of what we watched, the edit. I always have to remind you, we're watching an edited show. Based on what we watched, I really felt like Angela in that moment was not coming at Britt being malicious. I really felt like she was like, what was the cause for suspending your license? Remember, she's responding to the suspension, not the investigation, because we find out after she says that her license is being investigated. So here's the interesting part, because Britt and Mike are talking about how, when you're in that position, and we've had a few people call in and people in the comment section share their thoughts on what Britt has said and investigations and insurance and things like that. And she's like, I had to do a background check when I got my insurance license. And she's like, I'm a public figure. I'm dealing with people's money, blah, 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 blah. Which we've said, we've had people call in and share those thoughts. Here's the tweet that I put out last night because I was a little confused. Again, we have to remember what we heard in media takeout. I don't believe in insurance, the people that manage insurance licenses are paying attention to media takeout, because what came out from Kenya's situation wasn't a lot of information for me to warrant some sort of investigation. Just because someone calls you an insurance fraud, whatever, doesn't mean automatically your license is going to be investigated because of some random rumor of a show that hasn't even come out yet. Now, if it came out now and they shared a lot more and people were saying things on social media like, oh, we found this about her and da 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 da. She said that they had already completed a background check on her before she got her insurance license. What was coming out at this party was old information. So why would they need to investigate you again? Look, do I believe people get investigated in for the littlest thing based off of, having a certain license? Yes. However, I do believe Britt was using this as her way of keeping Kenya off the show, getting Kenya in more trouble than I guess to protect her own job. I do believe that this was a form of manipulation, a form of way of securing her own position on the show by saying, this woman is jeopardizing my license. This woman is jeopardizing my livelihood. I could take illegal action for this. Again, we could debate, we're not going to. We've debated this to the end of the earth on what Britt did, what Kenya did, blah, 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 blah. But I just don't believe Britt when she says that there was an investigation. Don't forget, she said on Watch What Happens Live, they completed their investigation and her license is fine. She wasn't suspended. I really don't care at this point. I don't care about anything when it comes to Britt's story or storyline. What is her storyline besides the Kenya stuff? Just asking. So she talked about what Angela said, and she makes what Angela said worse than what Angela actually said, because she tells Mike that she was like, how's that even possible? That's not what she said. She asked what was the cause. And again, I don't believe that Angela was being malicious. because Angela's like, well, I have a license, and what would they constitute reason or cause for suspending your license? Britt wasn't prepared that someone would be well versed in that area. Britt's gone on social media. She said, what Angela has versus what I have is different. Angela's since responded. If you missed it, we've done separate videos on it. I'm not going to rehash it. We've read exactly what they've said. All right. Mary says, I feel like she's one and done. She needs to be. But I'm going to keep an open mind for the rest of the season. But even in episode 7, I'm still bored with Britt. The other newbies, Angela and Kelly, they're fine. I see potential. Shamia, I see potential. Britt, I don't really see potential. And Britt was the one that I was actually looking forward to kind of seeing, like, let me see exactly what she brings. And I haven't seen anything that, like, she's not funny. She's not witty. She's not shady. You know what I mean? It's just sort of like, I'm pretty and that's it. No, that's not it. We need more. But again, I'm going to wait and see. But again, in Britt's mind, she's been pretty. Everyone's been envious of her. And I think when you feel like you're the prettiest person in the world, you don't feel like you need to do or give anything else. Girl, no. For those of us that don't care about you being pretty, we want to be at least entertained. And we're not getting any sort of entertainment from Britt so far. Episode 7, though. Still nothing. But okay. All right. Moving on. Okay. What else happened in that scene? Oh, so here's the thing. Angela, I don't feel was being malicious, but I do believe when Britt brings up, y'all notice I can never remember Britt's name. Every time I had to think about Britt, I'm like, Britt. I'm like, I can never remember her name. So Britt then brings up rumors that Charles had a side baby. Look, Angela's talked about this, but remember there was that old clip of Wendy Williams talking about Angela confessing that there was a side baby. Okay. So Britt brings up in her confessionals, oh, well, yeah, I heard that, Charles had a baby on her. Okay. I do believe that now Britt was being malicious. Because I know some people might think that Angela was being malicious. Based on what we saw, I don't feel like Angela was being malicious in that moment. Was she responding to the maliciousness that was being targeted at her after she asked her question? Yes. But now, all of a sudden, now you want to be malicious and talk about a rumor that could affect her family? All right. Y'all are a mess in the chat. I see y'all questions. K-Baby says, Britt bringing up old tea. I mean, it's new tea to us. Kinda. Look, kind of, if you didn't watch Wendy Williams. But at the same time, I just feel as if you're intentionally being malicious, while Angela, I don't feel like was intentionally trying to be malicious. Sidebar, they did announce that the after show will be premiering next Sunday for those that wanted to see it. So the after show. So I thought this was interesting. Firstly, what do you guys think of their fashions? I like Britt's look here. I like the top that Portia has. Hair and makeup looks great. I just don't like the denim jeans. Maybe when she stands up, it looks better. I just don't like the jeans. It looks a little too casual for the after show. Oh, Lord, Phaedra. I don't know what to say about Phaedra, y'all. Like, she looks great, but at the same time, I'm just like, what happened to the Southern Belle? Whatever happened? Now we got an Instagram model. We have Kelly and Shamia together. That's going to be one loud after show between these two. Between Kelly yelling and Shamia twerking. Lord have mercy. This is going to be too much energy. I feel like they should have mixed that up. And I think that would be too much energy in one place. But again, we don't know the dynamics of the friendships and the shifts that happen throughout the season. So it probably wouldn't work with mixing Shamia up with maybe someone else. Definitely not her best friend because, the best friends are not getting along right now. Okay. So we have Cynthia and we have Drew and we have Angela. Okay, the talls and one small. Okay, this should be interesting. So they've already dropped some of the clips on social in regards to what we can expect from the Real Housewives of Atlanta's after show. Okay. All right. I'm looking forward to it. This will be interesting. This will definitely be interesting, y'all. I do find it interesting that they put Britt in the middle. You think it's because they were both wearing black? Aesthetically, that's why they did it? Or are they trying to send a message? That they're trying to make Britt a thing? Okay. Someone says, what is Drew wearing? Drew is wearing Balmain. Okay. That's the outfit that she bought when she went to Kelly's event. No, I'm kidding. She didn't. I don't know if she really bought anything at Kelly's charity event. Actually, Angela's also wearing Balmain, right? Yeah. All right. Let me get back to this. Damn, I only got through one scene. Let me fast forward. Speaking of Angela hosts Drew. Drew comes over her home. Drew has a $6,000 clutch bag. All right. Drew, I have to give Drew credit. Because you remember what Drew looked like during her first season, like with her confessionals and her style. She's definitely upgraded her hair, her makeup, her outfits. I have to say, Drew looks great. Drew looks really, really good. And like she transforms. Like when she puts on a different color hair, I'm like, who's this lady? She looks good this season. Last season too. But she definitely looks really, really good. I feel like the fashion has upgraded this season. All right. So Angela confronts Drew about her lie. Lord have mercy. Drew. The lie. And then Drew tries to like, I was just kidding. You were dead. I'm glad they played the clip again. Because they played the clip where Drew was just like, yeah, that's my cousin. And Shamia was like, for real? She's like, yeah, y'all know my maiden name is Jordan. What Drew wasn't prepared for was that Angela knows Marcus Jordan. Snuff, that one? The one from Real Housewives of Miami? Michael Jordan's son? Okay. All right. So Angela tells Drew, I asked Marcus, and Marcus said that y'all not cousins. She's like, I was joking. Lie! The lie! Drew just lies about... Drew wakes up in the morning and says, like, what lie am I going to say today? I'm Michael Jordan's cousin. And that's why I believe, remember Portia on her YouTube channel was like, there was a current housewife that told us that there was a current housewife that gave this information to Kenya. Kenya said on her recent video that she did not get any of that information from a current housewife. She said she literally, it's Googleable, whatever. And I said, I'm willing to bet money that it was Drew, and Drew was lying. And then we see Drew in another scene when she meets up with Britt. See, I can never think about Britt's name. When she meets up with Britt, and Britt brings up the fact that Drew had mentioned that she knows the person that was in the photo. Mind you, there was only a personal area in the photo. So she was like, how do you know the person? So Drew had said at Shamia's house that the person had DM'd her. I don't believe Drew. There's something pathological. Like, why do you feel the need to just insert yourself or to lie the way that you're lying? Michael Jordan's my cousin. And you weren't prepared that Angela would know Marcus Jordan or know the family. I don't know why you wouldn't think that, because Charles Oakley. Okay. But all right. Tanya says, can we have a lie off with Drew, Mia, and Portia? No. I'm not interested in a lie off. I'm interested in people at least telling 90% of the truth. My gosh. So Drew says that she was joking. So Angela shades the food at Kelly's brunch, her peace brunch. She was like, the food was halfway good. She said those grits were terrible. I mean, here's the thing. Remember when Kelly was getting ready for this brunch and she was eating something out of a container? I was like, was that food from somewhere else? I was like, okay. All right. So apparently Drew says that Britt texted her about meeting up because they got off on the wrong foot. Obviously, a text wasn't sent to Angela. So this was I think Britt was probably guided by production, or Britt was thinking to herself, I need to at least be good with more people within this group, because it already feels like everyone else is team Kenya on this. So she's like, I want, first of all, she probably also wants camera time. We have to think about that as well. It's not that people really want to make friends or make good or, get on a better foot with people. A lot of times they just want more camera time. And we have to remember, although Drew is one of the newer housewives, she's also a more established housewife than everyone else on this cast, besides like a Portia. But even beyond Portia, Drew was the last person that was, she was the last person from last season to come on this cast. So I could see her trying to align herself with Drew. So Drew mentions that to Angela. She also updates us that she has a second court hearing coming up. And her fight in this court hearing is to keep the divorce docs sealed. And I was confused by that because you want the divorce docs sealed. And a lot of people are speculating because there's some damning things in there about Drew. But those divorce docs, I believe, have been unsealed. And nothing damaging, really, that I can recall, has come out about Drew. All the damaging stuff was about Ralph. And Drew says she wants to protect her children, and that's the reason why she wants to keep it sealed. But people are speculating that the only reason why Drew wants to keep it sealed is because there's more damaging information about her. And maybe there is. And she says that there's more damaging information about Ralph. All right. But here's my confusion. You're concerned that this might affect your children. However, literally, what was it, a couple of episodes ago, you were in the lawyer's office, you're filming a reality show, and some of what is in those divorce docs, your lawyer said on camera. So how is that not going to make it to your children? You're filming a reality show where you've talked about what was in the divorce docs, or at least some of what was in the divorce docs. Okay. All right. Apparently, Drew says that now Dennis and Portia have an issue with her. I'm like, okay. I found that to be interesting when she said that Dennis also has an issue with Drew. But all right, she didn't really divulge what the issue may have been in regards to what's been happening. I'm confused with that whole situation. I can't say that I'm invested or even interested in this Portia versus Drew situation. Do I think it's messed up the way that Drew may have moved in regards to trying to film with Dennis? Yes. But it seemed as if Portia was willing to move forward and be cordial. And I'm just like, okay, you're dragging it at this particular point, unless there's more that we don't know. Angela says that she wants to invite Drew to Portia's birthday celebration, birthday girls trip in Nashville, even though when they were doing a Zoom call, which I found to be interesting. Are we doing casual Zoom calls with friends? I mean, it's not the pandemic anymore, but all right. So Angela wants to invite Drew to Portia's birthday trip. And you saw the clip in regards to when she brings up, is my girl Drew invited? And Portia says, we can't hear you, Angela. So in Angela's sense of the situation, Angela says, unless you say no, that means hell yes. I have to say this, though. In regards to Angela inviting Drew, please understand, it's not Angela inviting Drew. It's production inviting Drew. This is a filmed birthday trip. Yes, in reality, should Portia invite Drew when you're not getting along with Drew or you don't like Drew or you feel Drew is a particular type of person? I understand completely why you would invite her to your birthday trip. However, this is the first group trip. Keep that in mind. This isn't just some random party that Portia's throwing. This is the first group trip for this new season after a reboot. And Drew is one of the main people from last season that's been brought over. They used Angela to be the one. No, let's invite Drew. But let's be honest, it's production saying, no, Drew must be there. So this whole, energy that Portia's giving, I'm like, I don't know if you're giving this energy because production told you to give this energy, but at this particular point, I don't care. I don't care. Exactly. CV says they're contractually obligated to attend the trip. I mean, unless something really happened with Drew and she felt uncomfortable or she, someone's sick or there's a legal issue, then I could understand. But there is no issue. And And look, this is why I'm giving Angela grace. Angela wasn't being messy. I know people, the Bravo universe is sort of like they believe everything they see on a reality show, forgetting that it's edited. And I'm thinking to myself, y'all, keep in mind, these people are not real friends. Just because it came through them on the show does not make them real friends. Y'all still mad at Portia for stealing Fallon's man. Y'all should be. But y'all still say that Portia, that was your friend. That really wasn't her friend. Okay, but should she have taken that married man? No. But you get what I'm saying. All right. All right, moving on from there. So, according to Angela's logic, she's like, unless you say no, that means hell yes to her. Note to self. So in another scene, speaking of Portia goes over to Kelly's home with Shamia and Cynthia. Can we talk about Cynthia? Cynthia does not fit in well with this group. And this is not your fault, Cynthia, because with the previous cast, even when you were there last season, you felt fine with this group. But with this new set of ladies, Cynthia stands out, right? It's like, Cynthia, you good girl. Like, I feel uncomfortable for Cynthia. Like, girl, I don't feel comfortable. you ever been in a situation where you just feel like, I don't feel comfortable? That's how I feel with Cynthia with with these women. And Cynthia, this is not on you. You're fine. You've been here. I'm just like, this just feels, and she's the oldest, I know, but it's not even just about age. It just feels uncomfortable. And she feels, and it's not even just that it feels uncomfortable to watch. It looks like it's uncomfortable for her. Charlene says that on Facebook, hey, Facebook, Cynthia is probably not real friends with them. She's not. She's not real friends with any of them, including Portia. Like, she knows Portia, they're probably friendly, but they're not hanging out. But I noticed that every time now this season, I'm like, I appreciate Cynthia being there, but it doesn't feel natural. Someone says she's better suited on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Even then, mind you, those are new friends to her. Even then, she felt better. And don't ask Cynthia to join Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, y'all. No, that's not. Look, that's not going to happen. All right, especially now. All right, so Kelly, first of all, Kelly says, is Craigslist still around? I didn't know Craigslist was so apparently she had the reason why she dyed her dog, all this stuff, and she says it's all humane free despite wearing a fur. All right. She says she dyed her dog because the dog went missing and things like that. So don't you just chip your dog in order to protect them? You don't have to paint them all these different colors. Because honestly, I don't feel like that's original, because I feel like we've seen other people that have done that to their dogs. But that's her reasoning for doing it. Okay. Fine. Oh, at the top of the scene, Cynthia talks about dating and her new requirements. Cynthia's dating this guy from the Netherlands now. This black guy from the Netherlands. We've seen him with the paparazzi one time. I haven't really seen them together since. But she's been dating him for quite a few months. Damn, Cynthia, did you see? Look, Cynthia, did you see? I'm sorry, Cynthia, because they keep asking her about Lenny Kravitz getting her number and never calling. No, I meant to do this, Cynthia. Did you see his Paris mansion, Cynthia? That could have been us. Look, Cynthia, that could have been us. And honestly, if it worked out with Lenny Kravitz, please understand, Cynthia was not coming back on this show. And I saw Cynthia on Gotta Get Out of Here, or whatever that show is called. Cynthia is still trying to make her coins. Oh, I wish it worked out with Lenny. I don't know about this guy in the Netherlands. I don't know about his finances. What I do know, he's working. He's I don't know about struggling, but he's a musician that I'd never heard of. I can ask I should ask some of my folks if they know him over there in the Netherlands. Do you know him? What's his coin like? But if speaking of musicians, though, she could have had Lenny Kravitz. So look, I'm like shaking for. But then again, Lenny Kravitz has been on a celibacy journey. I can't. It's a celibacy journey because he's single, Or is the celibacy journey going to continue if we start dating, Lenny? Because if we're going to keep with the celibacy journey while we're dating and you got that fineness all around me, I would lose my mind. Yes, we'd be in a beautiful Parisian mansion. Lenny, well, look, if you're just looking for companionship and you don't care if it's male or female, just look, tell me of your ways, Lenny. Tell me of your ways. Miss Parker, she didn't fumble Lenny. Lenny didn't call her back. He didn't text her. He got the number and didn't call her. I wonder why. What's Lenny's sign? Why are we talking about Lenny Kravitz? Because the connection to Cynthia and Cynthia talking about her dating. I'm making sense. She had this long list of requirements for the men that she's dating. But wait a second, back to the celibacy journey. So, Tamia says, Kemp already plotting on Cynthia's potential man. What do you mean? That's not her man. He didn't call her back. Lenny did not call her back. She's got a new man over there in the Netherlands. All right? All right. No, so back to this. Cynthia said that she would get married again, didn't she? I think I want better for Cynthia. I think Cynthia rushed with Mike. I definitely think she rushed with Mike. I don't know if this other guy's the one, though. I don't know anything about him. I think he's a Taurus, though. He's fantastic. Lenny is a Gemini. Never mind, Cynthia. Never mind, Cynthia. Stay away. That was the universe protecting you. Okay. All right, can we focus? All right, back to this. So Kelly and her dog. She dies a dog. I don't know why she doesn't get her dog microchipped, but or whatever. All right. Then they start talking about, Kelly refers to Angela and Drew being Team Twirl. I was like, damn. I don't feel like that was the energy that they were coming in on at the Peace Brunch. But again, we're watching an edited version of the Peace Brunch. But that wasn't the vibe that I was getting. And I said this last week, you can't expect people to have loyalty to you when they just are just starting to get to know you. Angela just got to know Kenya, but Drew has known Kenya. So there's more of a friendship and a loyalty there. And they became even more friends. Like they would hang out outside of the show. So I can understand Drew checking up on someone that she considers her friend. She doesn't know Britt like that. Ooh, Special Cases couldn't stand Mike Hill and his 500 female friends. I know there were some things about Mike Hill. And we still don't even realize what broke up those two. They had a very amicable divorce. Good. We didn't need that to be messy. And I told you, I've met Cynthia BravoCon. Oh my gosh, what was it? 2021 at BravoCon that I met her? Lovely. I thought she was lovely. She had good energy. We didn't speak like that. It was very just like, hi, how are you? You know, took a picture together. That was about it. But all right. Anything else I want to say about this scene? Oh, sorry. Okay, so Portia. So when Cynthia says, so you're good with Drew, and Portia's like, I want to say good. And I'm just like, Portia, you literally were breaking bread with this woman at Shamia's house. Not to say that you guys are best friends, but to say that you're good, meaning like, okay, we're civil, we're cordial. Well, yeah, her making a big deal of the use of the word good, it felt like, okay, Portia, you're trying to drag this out, and maybe it's because you're trying to have some sort of storyline, but it felt like she was dragging it a bit, for me. And again, this is not to take away from Portia feeling a way about the way that Drew moves and lies. I'm not saying that she shouldn't feel that way, but I felt like it feels like these last couple episodes that she's trying to drag a beef with Drew that really isn't there. And she's not even willing to have a conversation with Drew about it to resolve it. Again, I'm not saying what Drew did was right, trying to fill with her baby's father or trying to do a whole photo shoot and film it for Go Naked Hair. I'm not saying that that's right. But I do feel like Portia's trying to drag an issue that doesn't necessarily have to be an issue. Unless there's something there that we're missing. Chioma says Portia is dragging the issue with Drew. All right, at least I'm not the only one feeling that way. Okay, at least I'm not the only one. Guys, if you haven't already, be sure to like the video. It's an easy and free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well. We're talking about the latest episode of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Wait a minute. Y'all didn't even remind me. I didn't give y'all the full tea on Real Housewives of Potomac. Can we rewind time? So in addition, okay, can we bookmark this, Mama Ali? Can we bookmark this so I can add this later? So along with the news of Real Housewives or former Real Housewives of Potomac star Mia Thornton leaving, the timeliness of this is interesting because if you follow me on Twitter, hey Twitter, I posted, what was it, 5, little flowers that I usually use for Real Housewives of Potomac. And hold on, let me just hit this for my TikTok community. And I just put the hashtag RHOP and a GIF. That's because, word on the street, filming starts today, if not tomorrow, but today. Filming for Real Housewives of Potomac's newest season, season 10, starts today. And according to my sources, Candace is not coming back. But again, you never know. Mid-season, things can happen. In a couple of weeks, things can happen. But according to my sources, they're saying that Candace is not filming for the new season of Real Housewives of Potomac. So filming for Real Housewives of Potomac, yeah, that's the word on the street. That's why we got the news, because when I posted that tweet yesterday, that's when I had heard that filming starts today. And I wasn't completely surprised that Mia announced that she would not be returning because people are going to see them filming, and then here we are. And for those that were wondering if Karen was going to be a part of this season, we did a whole separate video talking about Karen being denied work release, and she now is scheduled to be released around November. The new season of Potomac will probably be released in November. So, well, it depends, sometime in the fall or something like that. If they're starting to film now, they film for like 3-4 months. Yeah. So that's the word on the street in regards to Real Housewives of Potomac. Mia is leaving. They're starting to film this week, and word on the street, Candace is not returning. But you never know. Things can change. Mina says that Mia can join Zeus. You know what? If I find out more, guys, I will share with our Club Kempire members. Become a member today over at our Apple Podcast subscription. If you go to the Apple website or, for podcasts, or if you go to the actual app, if you have an Apple product. And, Brian says, what up, Brian? If you go to the Apple podcast app, you'll see it under our page where you can become a Club Kempire member. Brian says, I'm 6 minutes behind and Kempire is in heat over Lenny. I'm just saying, if we get into a relationship, I'm talking about Cynthia. If Cynthia and Lenny were to get into a relationship, he's like, I'm on a celibacy journey and we can't have none. And I'm like, you're going to be walking around this house, and he likes to be naked. Okay. He likes to be naked. You're going to be walking around this house naked. And I'm supposed to be celibate? Unless I was already on that celibacy journey. And even so. How are we back here? Oh, Brian. I was happy. I much prefer to talk about that than talk about this episode. Now I understand why you guys rated this. Now it's 55% of you rating this episode between a 4 and a 6. Let me move on. Okay. But you get what I'm saying? You forget what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? You get where I'm coming from? All right. Thank you, Danny. You're right. I did forget to read the super chats. Let me say thank you. Scarlett, thank you so much for the super chat. Scarlett says, hope RHOP's cast have a storyline for next season. Oh, the other thing that I heard. Look, the other thing that I keep forgetting the T. The other thing I heard that Stacey, oh, girl, she ain't got no friends on this cast right now. Word on the street. She ain't got no friends on the cast. I'll have to do a separate video. Ariana, thank you so much for the super chat. Ariana says Giselle's keeping us from getting Candace. She can she can now go too. Yeah, when you think about it, remember recently, I think it was at Giselle's like one woman show where she said that she would be more willing to film with Mia than with Candace. Or no, she would be more willing to film with Monique than Candace. So that sure already have told us that, yeah, Candace was not going to return, especially if Giselle's returning. Keith, thank you so much for the super chat. Keith says Cynthia is giving chaperone vibes. Especially with those bunk beds. Babs, thank you so much for the super chat. Babs says Portia and Drew's storyline isn't working, too fake. Yeah, like I don't care. Thank you for being a member, Babs, as well. Sanazo, thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate your support as well. Danny, thank you so much for the super chat. Danny says, since Bravo is moving housewives around, Cynthia might be interesting on Beverly Hills or RHOP because of her age, but it would need to be organic, unlike Phaedra on Married to Medicine. I agree, and I don't think that Beverly Hills would be a good fit for Cynthia presently, but that's a whole other thing. All right, let's move on. All right, we had that scene. So Portia talked about not inviting Drew to her birthday party and her talking about them not being good. All right. So then we get these little scenes in between before we get to bigger scenes. So we have Angela, her nose is blown up because she got Botox in her nose because she says her nose was too pinched after she got the surgery. Here's the thing. Angela, this nose job isn't new, right? Angela's nose job isn't new. So I think because of what Shamia said while filming is why she decided to get the Botox. Look, as I point to my nose, the Botox into her nose. Damn, Shamia, you see what you did to her? And her son said that she looked like Yoji because it blew up. You know Yoji, the little thing from Super Mario, and it's like a big old schnauzer. So she got the Botox. So when they talk about running in to Angela, when Britt and Kelly ran into Angela and they said that she was hiding from them, it was probably because she had just gotten that cosmetic procedure and her nose had blown up. Poor thing. All right. Then we had a quick little scene with Cynthia and Portia talking about Simon crashing out on social media. A Gemini. I'm just saying. Okay. All right. So, but where were they filming, Cynthia and Portia? Was that her mom's house or her former house? That's what it looks like. Because remember, she could not, during the season of filming, they could not film at Portia's home that she shared with Simon. So, and they only got access after the season ended. All right. Christian says, nothing wrong with a little rhinoplasty. Nothing, but good ones. You know, there are a lot of people getting bad rhinoplasty. And I think Angela probably felt insecure because remember, we're seeing the scene where Shamia is making a big deal about it and saying all these things. And now all of a sudden we see this little scene where she's talking about getting surgery because of, she's like, they pinched it a little too much. I mean, look, I'm going to leave it alone. Because, you know, people get insecure after being on television and being on reality television. That's why you always see in like people's second season, they end up doing all this stuff to themselves. I'm not commenting on look, you like it, you love it, your body, your choice. Okay. All right. But if you really want to get it done, botched. Those doctors at Botched, they did a good job with what's his face? Come on. Someone said Simon's still with Ice. That's the word on the street. What's his name? Oh my gosh. From Real Housewives of Atlanta. I can't think of his name. Dwight. Thank you so much. Shout out to TikTok and there not being a time delay there. Dwight. They fixed Dwight's nose. Because remember, Dwight's nose was very pinched too. Dwight looks like a new person. He looks so good. But they're probably expensive. That's the only thing. Unless she decides to do it on the show, then they might do it for free. Right? Thank you, YouTube. Everyone's telling me Dwight. I was like, what's his name again? Dwight. And Dwight was at the season premiere party that they did for Real Housewives of Atlanta. He looks good. All right. Okay, so Britt and Drew meet up. Let me tell you something. When I knew that they were going to have this scene, I was sort of like, all right, I wasn't expecting a lot from the scene, to be honest with you, because Britt hasn't given much. But let me tell you something. If you came to our who came to our Atlanta show? Because we had I think it was Audrey, who had given us some tea in regards to Drew filming, talking about the Kenya of it all situation. They said Drew is in her housewife's bag. She's holding her own. This, for me, I was like, it wasn't this the scene that they spilled the tea on at Kempire After Dark? I was like, okay. Because this scene, I did not expect Drew to give us big Taurus energy. Speaking of Taurus season, because a lot of times people say that we're too straightforward Tauruses and that we don't realize that we can hurt people's feelings sometimes with how straightforward we can be. Well, this was a perfect example because when they sat down, so Britt and Drew meet up for drinks, all right? And Britt said that no one wanted to hear how she felt at the peace brunch. And Drew said she felt like Britt's energy was celebratory, the fact that Kenya was gone. And it definitely gave that. He's like, she's no longer here. She's not going to be here. Like, it was definitely giving that energy. All right. So Drew, out of nowhere, and again, we're watching an edited show, but I love the way that they edited this because it just felt out of nowhere. Drew was like, did you sell it? She's like, so what? The cat? And she's like, no. She's like, did you do corn? Like, question after question. I was like, wait a, Drew, what? She says, did you say, the way she said it too, Drew, the way Drew said it made it worse. She was just like, did you sell it? Why'd she say it like that? Why did she say it like, did you sell it? Sell what? The puss? Or did she didn't say the puss? I just said the puss. But the cat? Did you? And then she's like, did you do corn? Oh, Lord. So here's the thing. Like, I don't want people to shame Britt for having a past. Okay, there are plenty of people with OFs today that are selling, and making their coin and making a living and investing and fine. Okay, no judgment. This is a no judgment zone here. Okay, but she says no, she never did that. She only did webcam for a week. Drew's like, did you do well? Wait, did she say, did you do well or did you make money? I can't remember what she said. She's like, did you make money? Did you do? No, I think she said, did you do well? Wait, did you do well? And she's like, yeah, I did pretty well. She did it for a week, she claims. She did it for a week, and she said she did well. If you really did well, wouldn't you keep doing it? And she said she didn't do it with anyone else besides her best friend at the time. And they did webcam for a week. I don't believe that, Britt. I don't believe that, and I also don't believe that y'all did well. Maybe you did, but I just don't believe anything that comes out of her mouth. She's also she's an undercover liar, but not necessarily. We've caught her in a couple of lies already. All right. So Britt ends up bringing up a comment that Drew made at Shamia's house in the film scene. And Britt says that Drew claims to know who was the man that was in that photo with Britt. And they flash back to what Drew said. And what Drew says to the group was that the person DM'd her, which I found to be fishy. Why would that person DM you? And how would that person know? But because maybe they've been with Britt before? I just found that to be interesting. Like, was it mine? And why are they DMing you, Drew? And remember, Drew says that to the ladies. But the way Britt explains it is that Drew knew the person, and she's like, "How do you know them? Did you recognize them from the photo? Meaning, like you've done that with them before?" And she was just like, "No." I was like, "Okay." So I don't believe Drew at all. I don't believe Drew knew the person. I think Drew just wants to be involved. I think Drew just lies to lie. Miss Muffin says, "Was it Dennis?" Ew. Y'all think Drew and Dennis have something going on? SB says, 2 liars drinking lemon drops. Oh, Lord. Yeah, so we already caught Drew in multiple lies already in this episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta. But all right. So they talk about that, but they seem to come to a better place in regards to trying to see each other and be friends with each other. Fine. All right. Let's move on from that scene. But I have to say, that was probably, anyone else, that was probably my favorite scene from the episode. I didn't care about the Nashville trip so far. I mean, the Nashville trip was like, all right, fine. Drinking, yay, let's twerk, whatever. But for me, that was my favorite scene of the episode. That was my favorite scene. All right. All right. So Drew and Ralph go to a court hearing. So remember, there was a particular point, and they mentioned that Ralph has changed attorneys multiple times. This is his 3rd new attorney. During their last court hearing, Ralph represented himself, and he was trying to cross-examine Drew. Ralph is a joke. And I kind of believe that Ralph and Drew are in on this because I'm actually surprised that Ralph is even filming this season. He's filming scenes with Drew. He's filming a confessional. I just find that to be interesting because if they weren't at least in an amicable place, I feel like they're in on it along with production so that Drew can have a storyline this season. Word on the street, y'all didn't hear this from me. And I've said this before, that production doesn't believe Drew half the time either. Like they know that she's lying too, allegedly. But here's the whole, like, I don't like, Ralph is not likable. I know Drew lies a lot, but Ralph, every time he comes on screen, every time we have a scene with Ralph, I'm like, oh, he's so cringy. Like, Drew, I don't know how you ever associated yourself with this man ever, but yeah, you move funny too, so maybe that's why you attracted this type of energy. But I watch and I'm like, ew, like, he's so gross. And mind you, physically, Ralph is a good-looking guy, but for me, and I've told you guys this before, when you get to know someone's personality and they move the way that they move, that is a complete turnoff to me. Like, he's so ugly. His spirit is so ugly to me. Just saying. That's my opinion. All right? PSM says, why does Ralph have a confessional? Why does Ralph have a confessional and Kenya doesn't? I'd much rather see a confessional from Kenya than from Ralph, to be honest. So they go in. Ralph has a new attorney, Precious. Hey, Precious. As soon as I saw her name, I said, Precious is going to win this one. Quote me right now. Save this moment. I will not be surprised if Drew comes back next season and Phaedra comes back next season. I would not be shocked if we see Ralph have a scene with Phaedra. Because remember, Phaedra does not like Drew. There's something that happens between them during the season. I don't know. Don't be shocked if you see a scene with Ralph and Phaedra. Don't be surprised next season if they come back. All right? I'm telling you right now, you're going to see a scene with them and he's seeking legal advice. And part of me wants him to do it because you saw the last time that Phaedra represented someone in a divorce. Let's go, Drew. Let's go. I would not be surprised. Look at us producing. I would not be surprised if that's what happens next season. Special cases, I don't find him attractive. Like, I don't think Ralph is a bad-looking guy, but his personality, the way he moves, he's gross. He's gross. Gross, Ralph. And look, even with all of what Apollo has done, went to jail, stole from people, Apollo's still fine. He doesn't give that same cringiness that Ralph does. So you get what I'm saying? I mean, he just stole people's identity. It's okay. I'm being facetious. Calm down, please. Pretty girl says Ralph is not cute. He just has a bomb body. Sometimes that's all that matters. No, I'm playing. I'm playing. So they go in. So the goal that Drew wants from this court hearing is to have the court documents sealed. They want Ralph out of the house. His cousin's like, they want you out of the house that you're paying for? Yes. They want Ralph out of the house. They want his financial records, and they want these court documents sealed. The producers asked Drew, why does she want the divorce documents sealed? Are there anything damaging about you in there? And she says no. Like, when you watch that confessional, it's sort of like, is there? You just never know with Drew because she lies so damn much. All right? So it feels like, is there something in there? But remember, I feel like the divorce documents have been unsealed because we've heard all the things that Ralph may have done. So I'm wondering if there was more in there that she was worried about, besides her saying that she's worried about the kids. But again, you're already talking about this stuff in these scenes. So this is already being put on a reality show. So who knows? All right. So it ends up not in her favor. They end up unsealing the divorce documents. He gets to stay in the house. I guess he doesn't have to give the financial records either. So Ralph comes out, yes, I won. Yeah. Precious is happy too. She's like, yes. Like, everyone's happy. Drew's coming out sad with her sister, Allison. And at one particular point when they're both in the parking lot, she cusses Ralph out. She's like, what did she say to him? I can't remember. It's unimportant. And she says she just can't believe that he's this way. Girl, the way that Ralph has been moving, even when you guys were in a good place, I am not shocked that Ralph is being this way in a divorce. The signs and symptoms have been there with Ralph. So the fact that he's acting like this when you're parting ways, I'm not shocked. Not in the least bit at all. So they had that terrible exchange outside the courtroom. Drew rolls up the window and she starts to cry. I just don't know with Drew because Drew lies so damn much. It's like it's hard to believe anything that's happening with her. Like, is she giving that moment in order to convince us for her storyline? Remember, that's everyone's issue with Drew. People that know her, people that are on the cast, they don't know what is true and what is not true with Drew. All right. Shout out to everyone watching on Twitch and Twitter. We see you guys. Shout out to everyone watching on TikTok as well. And on TikTok says he always hated her. That's the vibe that I'm getting. That is definitely the vibe that I'm getting. All right. Before we move on, I do want to drop the call-in link for our members. Live chat, I will drop the call link for you guys as well. But we have almost 3,000 of you here for our Real Housewives of Atlanta recap. However, we only have 771 likes. Wow. So I'm going to drop the call link for our members first. Members, I'll be dropping this on the post tab on YouTube. For those that are watching on TikTok, you can get if you're a member of our YouTube, you'll be able to get the link as well. But you'll have to head on over to YouTube. So members, we dropped the call link for you guys there. And today's live show is sponsored by our friends over at Rose Forever. And welcome back, guys. More information, as I mentioned before, and the discount code for $20 off, Kempire 20MD for Mother's Day will be available in the description. Go get your roses today. All right. And as you can see behind me, my beautiful roses. You see they all kinds of different colors that are available. All right. And again, maybe you want to just get something for yourself. It doesn't have to be for Mother's Day and you've been waiting to get something from Rose Forever. This is your opportunity and you can get $20 off. Let me say thank you because we had a couple of super chats. Andrea, thank you so much for the super chat. Andrea says, Drew said Ralph has a problem with Dennis, not her. Okay. Miss Esquire, thank you so much for the super chat. Miss Esquire says, I would never want to see Cynthia on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. It's not a welcoming space for Black women, not even if Crystal came back with her, though they could use an actual housewife. That's true. That's definitely true. I wonder if that's something that Crystal wants to return to Beverly Hills. Noda Queen, thank you so much for being a member and for the super chat. Noda Queen says, they're even playing Ralph's homemade videos. I know, it's weird. It's weird. Miss Esquire, thank you so much for another super chat. Miss Esquire says, Phaedra is good for renting a salon suite and throwing in an IKEA bookcase, a desk, and filming a legal consult. Please spare me. I'm telling you, don't be surprised if you see that next season, her and Ralph. Fortune, thank you so much for the super chat. Fortune says, Ralph gives off Martell vibes. He does. And aren't they friends? Yeah, so that's not shocking at all. That is not shocking at all. So back to our Real Housewives of Atlanta recap. So we went from that scene with Drew and Ralph's court hearing to the Nashville birthday trip. So we see all the women packing and getting ready to go. They're at the airport. Angela misses her flight. I don't know what happened. Kelly thinks that she was trying to find her fan. Okay. All right. But Angela ends up missing her flight, but the other ladies are ready to go. They make it to Nashville, the long flight to Nashville, hour and 5 minutes. Okay. So they're in the car and they're talking about the different things that they want to get done because Britt mentions, I guess she's having some sort of allergy issues or whatever it may be. And Portia asks, do you have your anoids? And she's just like, oh, I had a nose job. And Portia's just like, oh, well, Shamia was like, oh, I want to get, some liposuction and things like that. And Portia was like, oh, I was thinking about getting some new breasts and things like that. But she's like, these men don't deserve it. So she's not going. She just talked about this on her YouTube channel. So she is considering getting that done. But she said they went from, what did she call them? I forgot what she called them. Her Chanel and something. Coco and Chanel. There we go. And now they're like Ben and something else. I was like, okay. There's so many little moments with Portia that are funny that I can appreciate instead of these forced like drama that she's trying to have with Drew. There are so many cute, funny moments that I've watched in this episode alone. It's like, okay. But then I thought to myself, is Portia better as a friend of, as opposed to a full-time housewife? And then I'm not, because we're not really getting a lot from Portia when it comes to her own personal story. But I'm also a big advocate that you don't need to have a personal story if you're funny and interesting. And she is giving us funny, but Portia's also is only as good as her cast. You get what I'm saying? But that's me. So I don't know. Based on what we're seeing, I enjoy some of her commentary, but at the same time, I'm like, what is, Bob and Rob is what she called it? No, Bob and Ben, right, Veronique. She called it Bob and Ben, her current breasts. All right. So they talk about that. All right. Then they get to the Nashville home that they're staying. They're apparently not staying in Nashville proper. They're staying far out, because for that to be such a long drive from the airport, I don't remember that. Well, no, I didn't fly into Nashville, so maybe that's what, I don't know, but I don't recall it being that long to get from the airport to Nashville proper. But so they select their rooms. So they go around the different rooms. We get to see Portia's room. Luckily, there was no fighting of the rooms. Portia basically assigned the rooms. And there were quite a few rooms. Like there was one room with bunk beds. And speaking of Portia making a funny joke, she's when talking about this later with Angela inviting Drew, she's like, I've been a good sport about this. I gave her a bed. I even gave her 2 beds, the bunk bedroom. Okay. And then in the attic, they have there's like 6 beds in that one room. Who's going to be in that? Cynthia, Kelly, and who else? Shamia has her own room. Shamia's like, I'm the best friend. I think I should get the second best room. Rightfully so, until the end of this season when y'all fighting, but okay. What else happened in this scene? All right. So Portia also invited some other ladies that are her friends. She invited Monyetta as well. I didn't realize that Monyetta and Portia were, I guess all these women are friendly in Atlanta for the most part. You know, Monyetta definitely tried to get a full-time peach on Atlanta, and it just wasn't landing. So I'm trying to skip through any of this stuff. Oh, so they sit down to eat, and they're talking about Angela. So Angela finally arrives. Why does everything with Angela fall apart? From the first scene we got with Angela, her wig the glue is not sticking. She's always hot. It's like a hot mess over here with Angela. She says her suitcase fell apart in the airport. What kind of suitcase are you? In all honesty, though, no matter, it doesn't pay to get expensive luggage, especially with the way that they throw around your luggage. I'm gonna tell you, I've had expensive luggage, and if you look at it now, it's like, what was the point? Yeah, I mean, they're sturdy, but they look beat up because of the way that they throw your luggage around. So her luggage is falling apart. Okay. So she arrives, and she could already tell that they were talking about her. She says hello to everyone. She hugs everyone, including Britt. All right. And Britt and Kelly talk about running into Angela, and they were like, she basically was trying to hide from us. And remember, I said making sense of what happened in that scene with, she said she got the Botox for her nose. I'm thinking that was probably part of the reason when she saw them, she's like, oh God, she didn't want to be seen. So they talk about running into her. Angela then brings up the fact that she would like for Drew to come. So everyone's just like, you would like for Drew to come on Portia's birthday trip? So they're all sort of like kind of shocked. But I'm not shocked. I think Angela in that moment can't say production told me to invite her. This is a cash trip. She's going to come. So she has to play along with the fact that they want her to be the person who's like, yeah, Drew's coming. I invited Drew to come. You didn't say no. She didn't say yes either. It just feels weird. It probably would have been better if Portia was just like, yeah, I invited Drew. I said we can, get along and be civil, instead of trying to make it seem like there's some issue when there really isn't a deep issue. Because we know what it is. Instead of trying to create something, I just wish that they would have just did that. But okay. We know Drew's going to come on this trip. All right. Moving on from there. What else happened? Maybe this episode wasn't good. I'm trying to get through these scenes and I'm just like, I don't care. Don't moving on. All right, fine. What else happened? So they end up going back to their rooms, FaceTiming with their husbands. Mike completely not interested in Britt. Charles pretending like he can't hear Angela. Okay. Kelly is getting dressed. She has her stylist there. She's offering. I have to say this. Remember, Britt and Kelly end up falling out with each other during the season on some level. But you could see how Kelly has shown up for Britt multiple times during this season, trying to be a friend to Britt and even offered her stylist to her. And I was just like, okay, so Britt, you might be the problem. That might be. You are the problem based off of what we're seeing so far. All right, so they're getting dressed because they're going to go out and they're going to enjoy Nashville. Nashville, great food, great party town. If you haven't been, you should go. All right. Al Singleton says, thank you for being a member. I understand Angela's life. She's a typical Taurus woman who always stays busy with being an entrepreneur, boss, mom, wife, reality personality, caretaker, etc. Often we have no WLB. WLB? What is that? I love how y'all just use initials in hand. I'm supposed to understand what that means. What does WLB stand for? All right. Work-life balance. I figured it out myself. Damn. All right. Okay, so they go out. Who looked the best? I liked Portia's outfit. I didn't really love Kelly's outfit. It looked okay. It didn't look bad. I will say, though, Kelly and Britt looked similar. I wouldn't want that. You know, like, I wouldn't want to look the same as the person I'm help styling. I would want us to look different. They look very similar in their outfits. I really liked Portia's outfit. I'm trying to remember everyone else's outfit. I don't remember what Cynthia had on. I didn't really like what's her name? Angela had on. All right. Victor says that Portia looked the best. I liked Portia's outfit. I don't remember what Shamia had on. That's all right. Unimportant. Okay. Patrick Mommy says that Angela looked a mess. That seems to be a running theme with Angela. I'm going to give her some grace because it's tourist season. All right, so they ride the bull. They're in Nashville. They're going to ride the bull. I was very impressed with Kelly. She rode it for 49 seconds. Shamia rode it for 51 seconds. She says she's competitive, very Taurus. Who else was on there for a long time? Unimportant. Anyway, so Drew. We have a separate scene with Drew. So Drew goes to Dennis's hookah bar, and she's celebrating her contract. Mind you, she was on the phone with Angela talking about, I'm in a very sensitive place. I really, have to be very guarding of my energy, blah, 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 blah. And so she says she's not sure if she's coming, but she's over at Dennis's hookah bar to celebrate her contract signing. We have to remember that not everything is filmed in the order that we think that it is. So for all we know, they probably just threw that in there. They could have filmed it before her court hearing. Who knows? All right. And so they're celebrating. She FaceTimes with Dennis about, she's celebrating the contract and fine, whatever. I do like the new project from Drew. Okay. So Drew's out partying at Dennis's hookah bar. All right. So they all sit down. The ladies sit down and they talk about Angela inviting Drew. So the other ladies that are joining Portia, that are Portia's friends, they're all like, why are we inviting Drew if Drew, is, not in a good place with you? And Angela, we even talk about when Angela and Portia were playing with that pillow in regards to the affirmation pillow. And it seemed like they were having a good time. So that comes up again when they're seated at the table. And they're seated at the table and Portia Angela's like, you're not going to make it seem like I'm being some sort of bully. Because before they left, when Cynthia brought up the pillow to Portia tried to make it seem like it wasn't fun and games. Again, this is where I feel like Portia's dragging it. Portia's trying to make this a bigger deal than it needs to be. Because here we are again, where Portia is sort of like, she's very aggressive with peace, trying to, attain peace. And I was just like, it seems like you guys are having a good kiki and a good time. But again, Cancer. Don't trust them. You think you're all good, and then all of a sudden you're like blindsided. You're like, what? Cancer. I can say it, Cancer rising. So, at the table, though, Kelly brings up the fact of, when she celebrated her birthday and she was going through a divorce, it just felt different. So Portia talks about celebrating her birthday, and she was with Simon for 3 years, and they would normally celebrate their birthdays together. And she was just sort of like, it's very different. She didn't even want to do anything this year. She didn't want to plan anything, but she was like, let me do something with my girlfriends. Okay. All right. So then it leads to this whole conversation about Drew coming and why is Drew coming? Why would Angela invite her? And again, we can't say that it's a filmed event and this is why Drew's coming. But all right. Dorothy says, for once, Virgos are catching a break. Niecy says, I am offended, Kempire. You must be new here, Niecy. All the signs get it here. All the signs get it here. Calm down, Cancers. Calm down. Calm down. Monique says this Cancer doesn't claim her. Y'all need to. It's very Cancer behavior. Very Cancer behavior. But I have a Cancer rising that I don't claim. Okay. All right. Was there anything else that I wanted to say? Look, after recapping it, if you watched all my recaps, when I really like an episode or a season, I'm just passionate about talking about it. I'm just trying to go through the notes because half of y'all are not watching the episode and y'all relying on me to recap it. If I had to rate this episode, I agree. I would rate it somewhere in between. I'd probably give it a 4.5. Now that I'm looking back at it, I'm just like, in my opinion, you are entitled to your opinion. Some of y'all are loving the season. Fine. I don't think it's terrible when we look at the Real Housewives of New York, but I'm still sort of like, do you guys think that Eric Fuller, who was a part of the former showrunner for Potomac and Atlanta, is sort of like, y'all said I was the reason why it was terrible. Well, you didn't help New York. That was the worst. That was the worst of in history, I think, of Real Housewives. Sorry, Eric. But not. Just being honest. All right, live chat. Once we get to 1,000 likes, I'll drop the call link for you guys as well. If you haven't already, be sure to like the video. It's an easy and free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well. I can't believe I've been talking about this for an hour and a half. God. All right, we have our members backstage that want to call in. If you're a member of the channel, head on over to the post tab. I've dropped the call-in link there for you guys first. I will drop the call-in link for the live chat once we get to 1,000 likes. Queen says, why Eric catching a stray? Just like, is it a stray? Or direct hit? Look. How you do? All right. Deborah says, I rated it a 6.5 before your review. Now 4.5. Yeah, it's not, Cameron says, bless your heart, Kempire. It's a drag. It will be interesting to see the ratings, though, for this week of Real Housewives of Atlanta, because steadily the ratings, despite, a handful of people saying it's the best season, I'm loving this. The ratings, though, have been dropping and the demographic have been dropping. We haven't seen that with some of these. Yes, we've seen a drop overall in regards to reality television and Real Housewives and ratings. However, we haven't seen a steady decline episode after episode. And now with the whole Kenya drama being pretty much done, I'm interested to see what else that they have. And I literally have been saying this the last few weeks, that the fact that they brought the fact that they brought Phaedra said to me that, so the season doesn't go well if you felt like you needed to bring in Phaedra towards the end. Even Nene said that on episode 2. When's episode 3 coming? Just asking. All right, let's move on. Let me get to the callers, guys. Don't forget don't forget the opinions of the callers do not represent the opinions of myself, the Kempire LLC, or our sponsors, and everything that they say is alleged. They also agree to abide by the timer. And they also agree to not use any derogatory statements or profanity. All right. Let's get to our callers. We're going to bring up Tanya first. Tanya, what did you want to share about the latest episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta? Tanya, you're muted. Tanya? Not Tanya, sorry. Toya. Sorry.
Oh, hey, Kempire. I was like, who's Tanya?
Sorry. There's two T's. There's also a Tanya, but I wasn't gonna call you Tanya. I was gonna call you Taurus with the T. So you're up next. Toya, what did you want to share?
Alrighty. I just want to say, as a Jamaican Kempire, Ralph has never sat right with my spirit.
Mm.
I've always felt like he was really mean and nasty to Drew when they first got on the show. And I had to stop watching because I didn't really care for the show anymore at that point. But seeing how rude he was to her, talking about the Tampa stuff, I mean, nobody is surprised. Nobody is surprised. But I also think that Drew isn't innocent because you know what? I don't know. It seemed like she wants to hide something, but Ralph seems like whatever it is that's going to be released may also hurt her, and he seems to be happy about that. Like, it's so weird.
Yeah, but it's been unsealed, and I haven't seen anything.
Yeah, I don't think maybe it's not that as bad as they thought, but I haven't heard anything yet either. But you never know. The internet sleuths will let us know. But I'm at work. I gotta go. Thank you so much, Kempire.
Bye, Toya. I love how y'all say y'all at work like I'm bothering y'all. Y'all called me. All right, Taurus with the T's backstage. Taurus with the T, what did you want to share?
Hi, Kempire. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, happy Easter Monday. For a second, I was like, oh my God, no, he can't hear me. But yes, there is a Taurus with the T here, aka Tanya. But I just want to say really quickly, Britt bringing up the fact that Charles could possibly have outside child, who cares? That she is not going to leave this man over that. They probably already settled that in private. You bringing that up when you don't have any kids of yourself. This is why God does not bless those who are not ready to bear to bear that kind of responsibility. And you're so worried about this lady, and she has all of this negative energy towards Angela. I'm not understanding it. I enjoy Angela. She's a Taurus just like myself. And I feel like she brings just the right amount of read and class to the show, but she also is very relatable. They need to give my girl a break because she is not even that bad, but I can help her with her fashions though. No lie.
Oh, all right. Taurus the T, thank you so much for calling in.
Bye.
Bye. All right. Oh, live chat, we hit over 1,000. Keep liking the video, guys. We still have almost 3,000 of you watching. No, over 3,000 of you watching on multiple platforms. So be sure to like the video if you haven't already. On Twitter, someone asked, is Candace back? Nope, she's not. Keeps it real. Angela is asking the real questions and doing all the work. The other girls are trying too hard to sell an image. Yeah. All right. Let me drop this call and link for the live chat. There we go. All right. We're going to bring Demi up next. Demi, what did you want to share?
Howdy. Just two quick things. And also, I hope you're doing well. Happy Taurus season to you.
Thank you.
I'm really glad that Brittany brought up the baby thing because it's not something that rattles Angela at all. So I do hope it comes up at the reunion. She can be like, I'm fine. Things are great. The kid lives with us, or he lives with us in the summertime. Things are really well. We're a blended family. Like, move on. Because it's funny because these housewives always try to dig up dirt on people. Like Ashley will go to your parents' graves to dig up dirt on you. This tea that she got, it's not really much. Also, I'm kind of disappointed with Cynthia's return, only because I do wish she would address in a vague way, in her own way, about why her and Mike didn't work out. Because I'm always fascinated by late in life marriages. Like, it's not because you've been married before, so something drove you to consider this person the person you want to marry, and then just as fast, it was someone you wanted to divorce. And yeah, they did demographic like black women between in varying ages of their life. Somebody kind of look out for like what happened, what's like you don't have to say specifically that it was infidelity or whatever it was, but why it wasn't for you.
Well,
just in case.
I think she would be like, if you want me to share that, you're going to have to pay me more and make me a housewife.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you, Kempire. Have a great day.
You too, Timmy. Bye. I mean, that's what if she's going to talk about her divorce and Portia is not, and Portia's a full-time housewife and she's getting paid the highest here, I don't blame Cynthia for not sharing any details about her divorce. I don't know if she signed an NDA in the end of it, but just saying. All right, Elijah's backstage. Elijah, what did you want to share?
Hey, Kempire. Hey. I wanted to share that for me personally, I feel like in this episode, her bringing Drew on the trip to me was just producers, in my opinion. But I feel like she's still doing it really well. You know what I mean? I feel like she's doing her job. She's actually working on the other people on this cast, Portia. And I think that, the episode was pretty good, but I think, in my opinion, it could be better. And I don't know that Phaedra's return is really going to help anything, in my opinion, but we'll see. I feel like she's really just going to give facial expressions. And I like Phaedra, but I really don't think she's going to give anything except Apollo picking up the kids every once in a while. You know what I'm saying? And I think that Drew's situation with Ralph, I do think that she's hiding something clearly if she doesn't want the case unsealed. So I feel like she should also be real. But it is disappointing that Portia comes back and she doesn't bring anything else or anything interesting about her storyline with Simon. And just because she's getting a divorce from him, I don't think that means she can't talk about him or at least say something. There's nothing there. There's no substance. So I am a bit disappointed, but Angela's doing really well. And Britt is she's just a fan, and she's desperate for bringing up that rumor about Angela. It's just talk about other people's things to distract people from your mess that's going on with you and the fake marriage. But anyway.
Oh, damn, not the fake marriage. Thanks, Elijah. Woo! Do you guys think that the marriage is fake? What's the point then of the marriage? For the show? Is that what it is? But they've been married since the pandemic. So I don't know. I do get a weird vibe. I get a weird vibe from him, and I get a weird vibe between them. But that's me. Lee's backstage. Lee, what did you want to share?
Hey, how are you?
How are you?
I'm doing good. So I don't have much to say other than I thought it was really strange that Britt brought up the whole side baby about Charles Oakley. And I said this before too. I just think she has a problem. She harps on these little issues and then she's blowing it out of proportion. To me, there was no reason to bring up any rumor you heard about Angela just because she questioned you about your, losing your license. It's an honest question, just like how Kenya asked you an honest question, are you married or are you not? The answer is I'm married. Are you getting investigated for your license or are you not? The answer is I'm getting investigated. That it's just simple questions that these girls don't know you. They just want to know. So yeah, that's all I had to say.
Thank you so much, Lee. Guys, for those that are having audio issues, you have to swipe out of the app and then come back in. It's not an issue on my end, unfortunately. That's something that's been happening recently with YouTube. So I don't know what that is. So for those that might be having an audio issue, swipe out of the app and then come back in. All right. That's something that's been happening a lot on YouTube. I don't know why, but it's not an issue on me. All right. Let me bring up Nelson next. Nelson, what did you want to share?
Hi, Kempire. How are you? Happy Easter.
You too.
So I had a couple comments. So the first thing I wanted to say was I have seen lakes of bodies of water that need water, and then there's Britt Edie. Homegirl is real thirsty. The point of bringing up that rumor, she clearly wants to be the villain of the show, and you can clearly tell that is the direction that they're kind of going with it. And whatever it is, what it is, if you think you could do it, Britt Edie, go for it. Let's see if you have I guess if you have it, you have it, but you're not really shady, so it's not kind of working for you. And I think Angela's a really good addition to the show for sure. She gives a lot of layers. I hope we get her for more seasons. She really is another Sheree. I feel like if her and Sheree were on the show, it would be very interesting to see them both on the show. I don't know. I don't know if they would bring her to the show. I'm just saying, it just looks like something. And also, Drew, with that question, I have never liked a Drew moment. So said, "Do you sell cat?" What, Drew? Come on, Drew. That was really funny. But yeah, I don't know what with the Portia stuff. I can't legally talk about things. Then we're gonna just have to deal with all these little side comment stuff. But thank you so much, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. You too. All right. Again, for those that are joining, yes, you might have to click out and then come back in if you're still having audio issues. Again, we've seen this happen a couple of times when we've gone live. It's not us. I think it's YouTube. It might be the app. You might need to update your app. I'm not sure. But yeah. But for the most part, we had a really good recap so far, right? No technical issues. Before I speak too soon, O'Shea's backstage. O'Shea, what did you want to share?
No technical issues, I hope. I hope. How are you?
What's going on?
My rating for the show was 5, and then after I finished listening to it, it ended up at 2. There's too many people lying, and I didn't even realize how much lies were going on. I guess I wasn't paying that much attention. But as you were talking, I was like, oh, I didn't. And between Britt, Portia, and Drew, they are lying about their lies on top of the lies that they're speaking about. And now that I finished listening to it, I realize I have no idea who's doing what on the show. And just a mess. Just a waste of a reboot. They should have just I don't know what they should just maybe started from scratch or done something, building the show around Portia, and now she's basically a friend of the show. Kenya came for 5 minutes and left. Paige was coming in the last 5 minutes. Just a mess. But
An expensive friend of the show.
This is the thing. She's eating the money and bringing nothing at all. Nothing at all. But that's just my 2 cents.
Thanks, O'Shea. I love how everyone's rating is changing. Okay, Chef Lorraine is backstage. We bring Chef Lorraine up next. Chef Lorraine, what did you want to share?
Hello, Kempire. How are you?
Oh, well, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing okay. I'm about to bake some bread. But really quickly, I am here for Angela Oakley. I love her. She should have been on the show years ago. And I love the fact that Shamia lasted the longest on the Buffalo ride yesterday.
It's competitive.
She went 51 minutes. I was happy about that. But that Britt Edie, that poor child, she need a hug. But what I wanted to ask you, which is more important, my daughter told me that I am a Gemini sun. I'm a Gemini. I'm a Gemini sun. I'm a Leo moon, and I'm a Scorpio rising. And I don't know what none of that means. So if you get a free chance, can you figure it out and let me know?
And madam, what you need to do...
You're so good at that.
It sounds like you're a mess, but...
Right? I am.
No, go get an actual birth chart reading. Because first of all, that's not my ministry. Yes, I can kind of give you like a quick little of my opinion. But if you want an actual birth chart reading, you should go get a reading. I know Femme Tarot does that. I know she's booked up for a few weeks. But if you can wait, go get a birth chart reading.
Okay.
You said your son is a Gemini?
Yes.
Of course. Goodbye, Chef Lorraine. I'm kidding.
I love you, Kempire. Have a great day.
Bye. I love our community gets my humor. They don't take it personally at all. All right. Let me bring up Tyler next. Tyler, what's going on? Tyler, what's your sun sign?
Sagittarius.
Oh, see. Makes sense. Go ahead.
I will say this. This episode was kind of boring. I do love Angela. I will say this. What's going on to me, and I know people are not going to like this opinion. I'm not saying full time, but this would have been a perfect time to have Marlo as a friend. With this mixture of girls. I seriously think that it would have made more sense. Not a full-time housewife, but with this mixture of girls stirring up the pot, especially after Kenya exposed Britt, Marlo would have done that way better than Drew did. Girl, did you sell cat? Because they said I sold cat. All that. I could honestly see Marlo in this mix with those girls, like her or not. It's just missing some little element that I don't think Phaedra is going to bring. And if this is the direction that they're headed down, honestly, to be honest, Kempire, I think they might as well just say goodbye to the Housewives of Atlanta, because I can't see us being invested further and further like we are with OC and things like that if this is the direction that they're going to continue. Because to be real, younger women in this space don't ring well. They don't. They just don't. We love the bougie, delusional older women, and maybe with a few younger. But being honest, with a few younger sprinkled in, it just doesn't work out. It doesn't. But that's all.
I mean, that's when you look at the element of what they brought with Portia. When Portia joined the cast, the women were a lot older than not a lot, but they were older than she was. She sort of brought this like young, youthful energy. But it was just her.
Sense. It made sense because the things that Kelly and all of them are going through, Cynthia makes sense for that, but like a Nene or whoever would make sense with them because they can guide them and talk about their life experience. That's what it's missing. It's like it reads Love and Hip Hop and things like that because these younger girls don't work out for this type of show. And I wish that Bravo would see
or
that.
Fan base.
Exactly. Pay these Black women what they deserve and keep it pushing. You're paying Cal, Dorit, Erica, and all them pay. A Nene, a Kenya, a Cynthia, pay these girls and bring younger girls with them to guide them. It's not working out. But that's all.
All right. Thank you so much, Tyler. I've seen that comment quite a few times based off of people reacting to this cast. They felt like Marlo would be a good fit with this cast. I think giving Marlo the peach was probably the wrong thing. I think Marlo has always been an iconic friend of, and she's always been good in that role. Trying to build her own storyline around that, I felt like that was not necessary. Bring her in as a friend of to bring the energy she normally brings. I feel like she would mix well with some of the folks that are here. I definitely agree with that. But I think giving her the full time is and then trying to build some sort of storyline that just wasn't landing. I think the reason why Marlo didn't come back this season was because Kenya came back this season. Remember, they were not in the best place. Even though they've not been in the best place and still filmed. But I do feel like they were like, the fans did not seem to like that, situation. All right, Anthony's backstage. We're going to bring Anthony up next. Anthony, what did you want to share?
Hey, everyone. Anthony from Los Angeles, California. How are you, Kempire?
I'm well. How are you?
Good, thank you. Sorry.
Uh-oh. You went out.
Hello?
Yeah, there you go. Now we hear you.
Okay, sorry. It's okay. So for this episode, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. As well for this season so far, due to the 3 liars. Britt, your suspended license story does not add up. Angela called it out because it just sounds complete BS. For Portia, you do not care for Dennis. You have said he is just a baby daddy. You don't want him or his hot dogs, so just stop it. And for Drew, I want to feel bad for her, especially because of her and this divorce, but she lies so much about anything about her life, including her marriage with Ralph. So it's a little bit complicated because I am also in a relationship, so I kind of feel for her. But it's a little bit difficult because I'm like, well, what's true, what's not, especially including in this divorce story. So I don't even know where to go from here. And then lastly, they're going to add Phaedra. So we went from 3 liars to 4. I don't even know about the rest of the season, but Lord have mercy. But that's all I have to say. Thank you so much, Kempire.
Thanks, Anthony. Take care. That's the thing. There's a lot of lying in Atlanta right now. Oh, no. All right. I didn't bring up Noda Queen. Noda Queen, did we bring you up? No, right? Noda Queen?
Hey, Kempire. How you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. Happy Easter. Happy Easter.
You too.
I actually was starting to side-eye Britt's marriage because I kept seeing just comments, nothing substantiated, saying that their marriage was fake, since the first episode. And I didn't think much of it. But her reaction to Kenya's question about the ring was very similar to her reaction to Angela's question about her insurance license. And I feel like that reaction to Angela was because she lied. So I don't know. It's looking a little weird. I like Drew this episode. I think she did her part this episode, from the conversation with Britt to her whole thing with Ralph, even though he got way too much screen time. But I think Drew did her job. And Drew's lies, they're kind of fun to me. It's camp. It's
not like Mia.
Yeah, she's in on it. So I'm not too mad about it. It's not like a Mia thing where I want to, rock her or nothing. But yeah, it's fun. But that's all I have to say. You enjoy yourself. It's not much to talk about.
Thanks, Noda Queen. Bye. Not rocker. Oh, speaking of rock, one thing I forgot to mention, y'all saw that comment that Britt made? She said, I brought my locks. Locks what? To lock stuff up or to hit people with? I wasn't sure. Did y'all see that comment? When she made that to Kelly, she said, yeah, I brought my locks because, did I write it down? I did a tweet about it. I was like, what'd she bring her locks for? You never know when someone's threatening using whips and pistols. Anytime you talk about something that could be made into a weapon, I'm just like, oh, I forgot. We should do a giveaway, right? Come on, let's do a giveaway. Drop your roses in the live chat. I know y'all like, how you go from locks to doing a giveaway? I just remembered. I meant to do a giveaway after we did our commercial. But I do want to do a giveaway. As you know, today's live show is sponsored by our friends over at Rose Forever. Mother's Day is right around the corner. So we want to give a lucky person roses that will last you at least a year. Again, more information on Rose Forever will be available in the description. Live chat, be sure to drop your roses in the live chat on YouTube, though. You got to be on YouTube if you want an opportunity to win some roses for Mother's Day. And I'm doing this through an automated system. I have no control over who is picked. All right? So keep that in mind. All right? And shout out to Rose Forever for partnering with us. Not only have they given you guys a discount code, they have given you an opportunity to win some roses for yourself. Okay? All right. Let's choose a winner. Boom. Soraya. Soraya, congratulations. Soraya Board. All right. Soraya. Where is Soraya? Hold on. Where is the Nightbot comment? I don't see it. Let me see. Let me see it. Let me see. Soraya. Soraya, you are the winner. There we go. Soraya, you are the winner of the roses. Please email us at kempiredaily@gmail.com. We will send you all the information that we will need from you so you can select your roses. So, Soraya, congratulations on winning the roses. Let me see if Soraya is in. Soraya, if you're in the live chat, please comment so that we know that you're here. Because if you're not here, then you're definitely here for you to be selected. Just let us know that you're here to let us know that you got the message that you've won. But maybe you stepped away. We'll see. You guys will let us know. Okay? Soraya, are you in the building? Maj, just let her know to email me, kempiredaily@gmail.com, so that you can select your roses. And we will still be giving more roses away. So you make sure you're here. Make sure you're here. Make sure you're on our YouTube. For those that are watching on other platforms, if you want an opportunity to win some roses. All right. Let me get to some more callers, and then we're going to wrap this up. Jess is backstage. Jess, what did you want to share?
Yeah, I just wanted to share that it just feels like the producers or the cast is trying to phase Drew out. And I felt like that even last season. But just the way that it just seems to be going with, like, she's in a tough time and everyone's kind of like kicking her when she's down versus everyone's sort of like having like this united front whenever it comes to Portia. And it's like, no one can mention the elephant in the room because even surprisingly, like with people like Cynthia and people like Kenya, who normally they are inquisitive about like the facts and everything like that, they just kind of seem to be taking on this role of like, woe is me with Portia, where it's like with Drew, they're kind of like, always wanting the facts of everything. And so I think that that's really odd. And then also I feel like, Kenya was spot on when she said that whenever you hug someone, it's like a transfer of energy. And I really do feel like Britt is someone who knows what she's doing, and she knows that, like, I think I'm that girl, and I think I'm this person, and all that, and everyone's intimidated by me, and so it's like I think that she wants to hug people of making them feel uncomfortable, and whenever they have discernment, she's taken aback by it. So that's all I want to say.
All right, thank you so much, Jess.
Thank you.
All right, Vanna's backstage. We're going to bring Vanna up next. Vanna, what did you want to share? Oh, wait, hold on. There we go. There we go, Vanna. What's going on?
We set us free from this season.
Oh, damn.
Hey, Kempire, everybody. Yeah, I'm just starting to feel like Portia is miserable and a mean girl because, again, she thought she was coming on the show living fabulous, and now she's just boring. Britt needs to go somewhere. Like, I don't know what part of Georgia they need to put her in, but she need to go somewhere and get off this show because it's just giving desperate. It's giving you're trying to be the moment, and girl, you will never be Miss Kenya Moore, Teams World. And then I was kind of feeling like with the Nashville trip, kind of getting the sense of some of these extra girls that are there, they're kind of testing them on the low for next season.
I thought that too.
So I'm kind of looking at that. I definitely like Monietta. I would love to see Monietta with a peach, but she has to bring it. But that's the feeling that I'm getting, that they're testing for next season. But right now, set us free.
I felt like they were testing for this season.
That's also possible because we're only 7 episodes in. How many episodes are we going to have altogether?
I think like 18.
Oh, Jesus Lord!
Not including the reunion.
It has 3 parts.
No, it better not be 3 parts. If there's no need for 3 parts.
Well, I don't know. Please set us free. Have a good day.
You too. Bye, Vanna. I'm gonna give Soraya some more time, but if Soraya doesn't respond in the live chat, I'm going to roll the dice again for another winner for our Rose Forever giveaway. But we'll give Soraya a moment. Soraya, we're calling you. We're calling you. All right, Brandy's backstage. I'm gonna bring Brandy up next. Brandy, what did you want to share?
Hey, Kempire. Happy Monday.
You too.
So, listen, I clocked it about the locks, and yes, that means something. Clearly, this girl takes whips, pistols, and locks with her everywhere she goes.
Sidebar. I'm sorry. I'm going to stop your time. Sidebar. I do also want to mention that Kelly did an interview. I think it was a bro chat where she said that she's seen Britt Edie with her weapon.
Because she carry it.
Oh.
Only somebody who have it will have that type of terminology.
Oh.
You're not going to say that if you don't have nothing like that with you, right? Yeah, no.
At first, I thought she said Glock, but okay.
Lock. And if you're from an inner city,
I've never had to carry any locks or anything like that, but I've heard of it. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes, that is a thing. It's old and late, and she too old to be doing it. But no, yeah, you that girl, you need to go over there with baddies. I think she'll fit just fine right over there with your whips, pistols, and locks. Also, I thought too that it seemed like you would stay away from rumors and spreading any rumors about somebody else, considering what you just went through and the fact that you are milking it as if you are so distraught. You real quick to go put out somebody else stuff. I don't like her.
Oh, hey, all right. Thanks, Brandy. One of the other comments said that Kempire's face looked real nervous at the thought of 3-part reunion. I was. Tiffany says, you put the lock in the sock and use it to go upside someone's head. That's what I was thinking. And Tiffany, I'm not saying that I'm about that life, but that's what I thought immediately. All right. So for those that are just joining, I remembered hearing when Kelly and Britt were getting ready in their room while they were in Nashville, she was talking, I brought my locks just in case. And look, we could be talking about locks to lock things up from people, but I immediately thought with this particular lady threatening whips and pistols, I was like, locks for what? I don't trust this lady. Look, all right. Okay. Marquis backstage. We're going to bring Marquis up next. Marquis, what did you want to share?
Hi, friends.
Hey, how are you?
It's been too long.
How are you doing?
Reunited. It feels so good. I'm just kidding. Kempire, let's get to the tea, honey. Let's get to the dirt. First of all, when I watch Angela, I want to like her so bad. But every time a scene comes on with her and that fan, I go turn on my AC. I feel hot watching her because she's always hot. And then she's denying going through menopause. Like, baby, if you are, it's okay. The wig isn't wigging. The fan isn't fanning because you're always sweating. But I like her. She just, yeah, look, I'm getting hot. Kempire, I'm going to turn on the AC just talking about it. Did you notice Britt's husband, when they all FaceTimed their husbands in the room, he was like, okay, not the fan. Look at that big old fan. Yes, give that to Angela. That's what she needs.
Angela, we got you, girl.
It's a gift, okay? Britt's husband just looks out of it. Like, when she FaceTimed him from the room and was like, yeah, so this is what's going on. He's like, okay.
Uninterested.
That's all I got to say, Kempire. I love you.
Thank you, Marquis. Have a great day. For those that are just joining us, don't forget to like the video. It's an easy and free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well. Replay crew, we haven't forgotten about you. Be sure to share your thoughts, opinions, and ratings of this week's episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta. I can't tell you. I can only be honest with you guys. Just recapping, I was like, I'm a little bored talking about it. I'm not bored when you guys call in. But other than that, I'm like, Let me see how you guys are rating it. Did Soraya hasn't gotten back, y'all. I'm going to give her one more caller, and then I'm going to spin the wheel again. All right? Let me see what it's still 55% of your rating this week's episode between 4 and 6. Sidebar, for those in regards to the sound issue, I know it's not us because when I watch the replay, it sounds fine in regards to the audio. So I think it's just a streaming thing with YouTube when we're live. So if you go back and you watch the replay, in the replay, the audio is fine during that section. I'm sure the audio is fine now, but it's been a YouTube thing. All right, let me bring up a couple of more callers, and then I'm going to round this out. We've been live for over 2 hours for a show that we found to be boring. But we like each other, so that's why we're able to kiki and laugh and speculate and talk about the things. But we shall see. Not y'all dropping more roses in the chat. Soraya, they don't care about you. Lord have mercy. They dropping more roses in the chat. Let me bring up Amina next. Amina, what's going on? Amina, you're muted. Amina, can you hear me?
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Good evening. Am I audible?
You are going in and out, Amina.
Oh, am I okay now?
Perfect. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Go ahead.
Yes, I can. Okay, cool. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. So first of all, I just want to say thank you, Kempire, for watching Real Housewives of Atlanta. So some of us can't suffer for an hour. Like, I could be using my hour to do something more useful. Thank you so much. I don't think, anyone has said that enough, but, thank you. And secondly, I would rather watch, the Three Musketeers lying than watch Britt easy boring up the whole gaff. Like, she's just thinking up the whole pitch. Like, get off the show. Bad enough. And thirdly, justice for Leaks, bring her back. I'm so tired of these newbies. Like, I'm just tired. But yeah, thank you.
Amina, where are you calling from?
South Africa.
Love it. Shout out to South Africa. We appreciate you calling in.
We're waiting for you.
I know. I'm trying. Amina, thank you so much for calling in. All right, South Africa, I'm trying. Please understand. Y'all don't realize I'm not going to be like some of these other folks that are going to announce something that doesn't happen yet. No, I need to announce, confirm, double confirm before anything happens. So I am working. I'm trying. All right. Let me just double check. All right. We haven't heard from Soraya, y'all. So we're going to have to re-roll. Sorry, Soraya. Jessica Cabrera. Are you in the chat, Jessica? Congratulations, Jessica Cabrera. For the people watching in the bushes, they probably hate this when we do this. Jessica Cabrera, are you in the chat? I love how you guys kept on dropping the roses in the live chat, spam in the live chats. It's getting a little aggressive. Like Angela's piece. She tried to get it aggressive. Woo. All right. Is Jessica Cabrera in the chat? Jessica, are you with us? Jessica, we will be doing more giveaways with our friends over at Rose Forever. But if you did not win, it's okay. You can still get a discount. Kempire 20 MD for $20 off. A link is available in the description so that you can win a little something. We'll give Jessica a moment while I bring up Tanya next. Tanya, what did you want to share in regards to the Real Housewives of Atlanta?
Hola, everyone. Happy Easter.
You too.
Yes. Okay, so I love Angela Oakley. The reason why is because women at a certain age, yes, bring the fan up. Like, I've done it. It gets hot everywhere in LA, everywhere. Yes, yes, thank you. I bring it for my daughter. She's 6 years old. She loves it. Thank you. We get hot up in here.
Oh.
Right?
You have a 6-year-old?
Right? Yes. I know. They're aggressive at that age. But I love Angela Oakley because I think she takes it to the chin because dealing with her husband, he gives it to her. You know what I mean? Like the comments and everything. That's why I like her because I want to be like her as a Libra woman dealing with an Aries husband who's also I think I told you about this, same birth date as my dad.
Oh.
I married an Aries.
Oh.
And they will, Aries men, they will give it to you and then you got to give it to them back.
Oh.
I'm a Libra. And I'm a Libra who gives it back, which is like, I don't know what you think about Libras giving it to Aries men, but we have to do that on the Friday nights. I love those Friday nights you give it to us. But anyways, I love Angela Oakley. Like, when she comes in with her big glasses, you know what I mean? Like, we need to see something. Like, she's looking for something. Like, can I read something up in here? I get her. I really get her at that age. You know what I mean?
All right, Tanya. Thank you so much for calling and sharing.
But I love you. I really like listening to this and
Thank you.
Your chat and everyone. I love it.
All right. Thank you so much, Tanya. I hope you have a great day.
You too.
Bye. All right. Dana says Aries men aren't bad. I don't know a lot of Aries men. I'll just say that. Let me say thank you. We had quite a few super chats. Keith, thank you so much for another super chat. Keith says, this season just isn't doing it for me. Between production not doing psych evaluations, Drew lying, and Portia reaching for a storyline, I'm over it. Well, damn. Being June, I did see your comment, so I saved it. She says that Nene has episode 3, Kempire. It's less than 30 minutes addressing questions on a balcony. Is that considered the Nene Leakes show? Did she label it the Nene Leakes show? But I'll check it out. Keith, thank you so much for another super chat. Keith says Charles has an outside baby and Britt is in a lavender marriage. Those that live in rainbow houses shall not throw stones. Damn, that was a read. Christopher, thank you so much for the super chat. Christopher says, fix the sound, Kim. No, the sound is not my problem. I'm sorry. It's a YouTube problem. Trust me, if it was my problem, I would try and fix it, but I don't see an issue on my end. Breezy, thank you so much for the super chat. Breezy says, Portia versus Drew beef is tired. Portia likes to be in control of everything in every narrative. Remember, she got mad at Tamron for being a journalist. Oh, she's gotten mad at Wendy Williams. I remember that. Portia's very sensitive. Cancer. C. McFarland, thank you so much for the super chat. Apparently, Marlo and Britt shares the same agent. Oh, do they? Tyrese, thank you so much for the super chat. Tyrese says, Angela and Portia are the same age. Maturity is the difference. Both high school. High school, college. I don't know what you were saying here. 99. Thank you, Tyrese, for the super chat. Jay, thank you so much for the super chat. Jay says, yep, I said the same thing, and Drew has no press, and she dropped an album. I think Drew was the only one that backed Kenya up. Well, I'm sure there will be a week that Drew will be out here in these streets promoting her project and promoting the show, because they've been pushing out all the girls to promote the show. So don't be surprised. Cody, thank you so much for the super chat. Cody says Britt is giving histrionic. She doesn't even know what that word means. Tamara, thank you so much for the super chat. Tamara says, when I think fan, I think Beyonce. Go ahead, be fabulous. In regards to Angela. Thank you so much for the super chat. Gracie, thank you so much for the super chat. Gracie says, I love Shamia Kelly pairing up for the after show, and now with Phaedra coming on the show, I don't see Shamia and Portia's friendship surviving. And it doesn't. It doesn't. So that will be interesting to watch that dynamic. Let me just see. Okay, so great. Jessica is in the chat. I saw that. She says, I'm doing a shimmy. I love it. So, Jessica, please email us, kempiredaily@gmail.com, so that we can get your details so that you can pick out your Rose Forever bouquet. Sorry to those that almost won but didn't. But you still can win. We still will be doing more giveaways. Make sure you're still here. And if you don't want to wait to win and you just want $20 off of your bouquet, head on over to the description for more details. All right. Kempire 20MD. Cynthia had something to say in regards to this. Hey, Cynthia, what did you want to share in regards to Atlanta?
Hi, Kempire. How are you?
Oh, well, how are you?
Hi, Gaslight.
Hi.
The kids are off today.
Yes, for spring break.
Easter Monday. Happy Easter, Kempire.
You too.
Hello, Kempire.
Hi.
Yeah, fans, young fans, and an aggressive 6-year-old.
Oh.
Kempire, I would have logged on and said hello to you long ago. I was not impressed with the episode last night.
Oh.
I just was not feeling it. I've been on the chatting up with the girls. When is Salt Lake City coming on? When is Miami? I can't wait for Miami to come on. Atlanta is basically flatline now. In my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
You know who I think should have came back? No one really mentioned it. Sonia. I think Sonia's going, she has a lot going on.
And she's pregnant again.
And I think either that or she just had a baby, whichever one.
No, she has a second child that she's having. Yeah. She had the baby, and then she's having another one.
So she's having, so this is going to be her third child.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Yikes. I'm struggling with 2. 8 and 6, Kempire. I'll deliver them to your house on your birthday.
No. No.
With your billionaire husband. Kempire, thanks for all you do.
Thank you, Cynthia. Have a great
good one.
break. When did the kids go back to school?
Tomorrow. Thank you, Jesus.
Spring break was last week. Okay, today's the last day. All right. Cynthia, thank you so much for calling in.
Take care.
Bye, kitties. Bye. So cute. Keep them at your house, Cynthia. Keep them there. Okay. All right. Thank you all for calling in. I appreciate the callers so much. And thank you to everyone that liked the video already. Those that will like the video in the replay. Be sure to share your thoughts as well. Look, Sonia, people want Sonia to come back, possibly. You know what I just thought of? I have a few things that I need to spill in my Club Kempire episode that's coming this week. Because I got to talk about Salt Lake City, what really happened with Meredith. Got to talk more about Potomac. stay tuned. Become a Club Kempire member. There's a free 3-day trial. Join us on the Apple Podcast subscription. We already recapped the White Lotus. So if you wanted to hear my thoughts on that, be sure to hear that. And maybe I'll talk about The Handmaid's Tale because I watched season 5 over the last week, and I'm on season 6 already. I'm up to date on season 6, but they haven't released the rest of the episodes yet. So yeah, we shall see. We shall see. And I will talk about why I think Sonya would be good on another reality show. Stay tuned for what I mean about that. Okay? All right. I have a lot. I need to take some notes for this next Club Kempire episode because there are a few things that I want to address. All right? Anyway, thank you so much, you guys, for liking the video. If you haven't already, be sure to like the video. And don't forget, you can hear an audio version of our live recaps on the Kempire podcast and special episodes on the Kempire podcast. So subscribe today. And thank you to everyone watching on Twitch, Twitter, TikTok. We see you guys. Thank you so much for liking the video and sharing and doing all the things. And I will see you guys in the next one. All right? Bye. Thanks for tuning in to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Podcast. As always, don't forget to give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. And for everything Kempire Radio, head on over to KempireRadio.com.